La 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 la. Happy go lucky girl. All right. Okay, real quick. Happy birthday, Bunny. Everybody give Bunny some birthday love. She fucking deserves it. Okay, I am over the fucking moon right now with this course, with what you guys are doing. And I'm going to throw this out to you and I'm going to write you guys individually. But typically, when I put out the Poetic Anarchy books, it's from people who take the course. But there has been so much good stuff in this class that I definitely want to do a book of just this week, whether it's a chapbook, whether it's an ebook, or whether it's, I don't know if it's going to be enough to fill a book because the last class we did, so the Poetic Anarchy Volume 2 book, which should be here, but it's not, that I think was only I think like 76 pages because a lot of people who were in the class either wrote very short poems or kind of at the last minute pulled some poems that they didn't want out there, which is completely fine and understandable, and I get that. So everyone who's in this class doing the workshop and all this shit, if you guys will allow me, I would love to put your stuff in the next Poetic Anarchy thing. I honestly just want to do a special one just for this because this workshop to me has been kind of fucking magical. Like, seeing the growth that I've seen, seeing the images that you guys have been like putting down has been so fucking good. That I'm gonna email you guys all individually, and then that way, if you're not a published author yet, now you're a published author. Now you're a published writer. So then, um, when you're talking to people and they're like, "Oh, like what do you do?" You know, and like you could go, "Oh, well, I'm a writer," and they're like, "Well, have you been published anywhere?" And you're like, "Yeah, bitch, like I've been published." So choke on a bag of dicks. Am I right? All right. So let me get this here. There have been some really interesting things that have happened in the last day. Oh, and two, if any of you guys have ordered, and not just you guys in the chat, but people who watch this after, all orders for like chapbooks and broadsides and mini zines and shit like that, if you have made any orders in the last week, they went out yesterday. So I'm having a problem with Etsy. It's not letting me mark things as shipped for some reason. So if any of you have ordered anything, it went out yesterday. So I think that's all the house cleaning I have to do right now. And today we're going to be talking about blood, which is my favorite fucking thing to talk about when it comes to poetry. Bunny, who's taken the class before, knows. Audrey, who's taken the class before, knows. Blood is like one of my favorite things ever. And so we're going to be talking about that. And then we're also going to be talking about voice, because voice is something that comes up all the time and it's really, really important. And I feel like a lot of questions in the poetry world are like how do I find my voice? How do I do? And that's just one of those questions that are always there. And I feel like, especially if you come from academia or if you come from the college or university circuit, or even if the only writing training you ever had was in high school. All of those places, I feel like they stifle voice more than um, encourage you to like really lay into it. We're going to be talking a little bit about that later. But I do want to go over some poems with you guys because I did get some poetry. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go with Tim, the thrifty reader here. And these are his external and internal poems. Um, you know what? I wonder if I think this is right. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back through the emails because Tim, I think you gave me a different edit of one. So the sun rising in the east, bright yellow ball, rays touching down, warming the grass, giving hope. Was it these poems, Tim? And then the internal sun poem. How I miss you when you're gone. The warmth of your touch, always fulfilling. Yes, I miss you, but know that others need your light, your happiness to brighten their day. And when I wake, you will be with me again. No, the happiest day. Okay, that's what. Okay. So this poem here, and let me make this clear to you guys because I did get some questions about this yesterday from a couple of you. Now, the whole reason why I'm having you guys do an external and an internal thing, and an outside poem and an inside poem, that whole idea is that poetry is supposed to be able to, with your language, with your words, be able to paint a picture that elicits some type of emotional response. Okay. And what I have found when I go over people's poetry and not necessarily do edits, but when people are asking for critiques and stuff, when they're like, you know what, there's something with this poem that's just missing. There's something missing. Usually, what that is it's either completely external or completely internal. And there's nothing merging those. Now, a lot of you, with the poems that you write, when you're just writing off the cuff, a lot of times, if you go back and look at your work, you'll notice that subconsciously, or maybe you guys already know this and it is consciously, but subconsciously, a lot of times someone will write external and then go internal and then go external and then go internal. It gives a balance to the poem. It gives the whole idea like I'm observing and I'm reflecting. I'm observing and I'm reflecting. So the whole reason why we do this exercise is for you guys to understand the difference between the two. So when you're writing, you realize, oh, external is observation, internal is reflection on this. So, like the external is you seeing something and talking about it, and the internal is how it affects you. And so, this whole thing is just to get you in the mode of learning the difference between observing and reflection and how to weave those together. So now that we know how to do those separately, now when you guys are writing, think about that consciously when you're writing. Like, okay, this is this, and now I need to talk about how I feel about it. This is this. How does this affect me? Um, and there again will be a class in the main course that's just about um, kind of the difference between journaling, journalism, and poetry and observation, and this whole idea of how to take these separate things and make them go together. So good job. And I told Tim, I'm like, these two poems here, this oh, where did it go? Here we go. These two poems here, it's great that he did it like this because he did his external and his internal poem about the same subject, or like at least metaphorically the same subject. So when you read this as like one poem, it has a different meaning now. So now I'm going to read both of these poems together as one poem. Rising in the east, bright yellow ball, rays touching down, warming the grass, giving hope. How I miss you when you're gone. The warmth of your touch, always fulfilling. Yes, I miss you, but know that others need your light, your happiness to brighten their day. And when I wake, you will be with me again. So when you're reading this like this, you're reading it and you're like, oh, he's talking about the sun. But then, like, you could look at it on the internal part of this and go, is he talking about the sun or is he talking about a person? Like, it morphs and turns, but gives you the idea that if he is talking about the person or a person, the person gives the same things that the sun gives you. And this is the way to do metaphor correctly. And Tim, you might not even have been trying to do metaphor on this, and I'm reading way too much into it. But if you were trying to do metaphor here, this is exactly how you do metaphor. You don't just start like going like his bare hands. I don't know, like when you'll know it when you see it, when you're reading poetry and it's like metaphor line, metaphor line, metaphor line, and none of these metaphors commingle at all. They're all completely fucking separate things, and that's when people have their metaphor orgies and everything turns to shit. All right, so Tim, good job. Let's see here, where was Tim's? Okay, here we go. Let me copy this and bring it over here so I don't misplace this again. Okay, so on his happiest day poem, the happiest day of my life will be when the anger and hate release their hold, when love and compassion begin to break through thick, stubborn walls, when regret and memories fade into another room, locking the door, not succumbing to their knocking, their screams to be released. When the sun calls to me, its rays drying the tears, wrapped in its arms, smothering the darkness within. It's fucking gorgeous. That is a beautiful, beautiful poem, and it's very, very deep inside of you. So, um, I love that shit. I love that. So good job, Tim. And then Hannah sent me one, and this is cool. And I had a really good conversation. I have no idea what that sound was. That was terrifying. That was either a mountain lion or a child being thrown. Probably a child. Okay. Let's let's bring this down a little bit here. Got to stay away from that. But I had a really good conversation with Hannah about this. So here it is. As I sit here looking at your photograph and knowingly caress the black frame, I remember that time never did catch your face. Tell me, grandfather, where did the wings take you when you flew away? The countryside you were walking in seems so calm as you perch on the fence. Shining sunbeams lean into the camera lens. But the watch you're wearing seems unhappy, wanting to tick just one more second. The diary in your pocket looks worn, its pages curling up at the sides and the spine is torn. I wonder what is inside it. Is it love or worry born? I'll always treasure the greatest gift you gave me, a Bible with details of our family's ancestry dating back to 1843. Sometimes looking at your photograph requires a whisper of whiskey, as sometimes it's hard to accept the things that are missing, like the day when we would make things out of trees, or the walks we would take through the dead brown leaves. I added the, sorry about that. And if there's one thing I have left to say, it's that for thoughts of you will never go away. After all, you were the one who helped shape me. You're the reason I'm wise through my years at all. So that is so fucking touching. And like honestly, like I feel like you have to be a fucking total sociopath corpse in order to not feel that. The imagery in that was fucking gorgeous. So, and when I was talking to Hannah about it, Hannah was talking about, oh yeah, this isn't very good. It's just a draft. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Don't sell yourself short on this. This is really, really good. Like if you want to just like go in and sprinkle, like and like do little things, that's fine. But this is an amazing golden fucking poem. So you guys got to understand that you guys are poets. You guys are writers. This you guys have already done it. You are these things now. There is no good or bad or anything. It's the art is the doing. Okay. And they always say like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if that's the case, then it's like your poetry might not be for everybody, but it is for some people. And those people are going to fucking lose their shit over it. So just keep that in mind because that's all good shit. Let's see here. Okay, we're gonna come back to that. So let's hit Bunny. Um, wait, is this? Okay, here we are. Yay! Good job, man. Everyone say hi to Garrett and say thanks for hanging out all day. Okay, so this is Bunny's poem here. I woke up one Sunday and I had a new mouth. The mirror showed me. It was hanging on the left. And when I cracked my jaw wide, the opening between my lips gave me the face of something that might gnaw your soul out. My reflection was not something I'd ever seen before. My husband called his mother. She was a nurse. And while he barked into the phone, I swear I could see my eye and brow slowly drooping down until they were not mine. I watched the right side of my face go paralyzed and slack, sagging like an old tit. And what I see now looks like a lie being told to my face. Heavy. Hello, JH. Bunny kills it all the time. And if you haven't got it yet, Bunny has a book on Amazon called Monsters in the Mouth. And it's amazing. So, yeah, everyone go run over and grab that. Okay, so let's go to Thomas here. Thomas did the internal and external here, and they're both called books. Words on a page. I feel the paper. I flip the pages to find out what happens next. In the next great adventure, what worlds I travel to what people I become, what will I discover? And then for the external, you are an artist of words. I feel your paper, soft and smooth to the touch. As I caress your pages, my eyes dilate with excitement to be in a world with you as soulmates and discover each other. Now, this is really cool because the external poem and the internal poem, they kind of answer each other. And he uses some of the same words between them. And this is actually really fun and really cool to do. And there are a couple exercises that we do in the course where we are going to be writing poems about a certain topic and writing them two different ways. And so Thomas is, I think I reversed them. So the external was the top one and the internal was the bottom one. Yeah. But like Thomas is already ahead of the game because we're going to be doing this kind of thing already. So that's cool. And again, when you read these together as one, like it gives you such a deeper meaning, a deeper thing. Because when you're reading this like this, again, we're sitting here going, oh, he's talking about a book. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh shit, he might not be talking about a book. He might be talking about a person. It's the whole fucking thing, you know? I fucking love that. Let's see. Okay, so where did it go? Is it right here? Nope. Where the oh, here we go. Okay, so Mindy sent some in. Okay, so the first one is nasal spray. Simple white bottle, rounded curves on the sides. Strange cap that looks like a fez. Nozzle hidden inside. The fine mist. Helps with what ails me. Be sure to clean the nozzle to prepare for another day. So that is obviously completely external. Now, when we go into the internal, again, if these, even though these poems are definitely about two different things, if you read these together, like you wouldn't be so sure. So this is called Sweet Release. I breathe you in. I can't define my need. I lay back as you fill me. I taste you in the back of my mouth. A subtle taste of grapefruit. Sparks in my senses. Drowning and mounting pressure. But now I am free and completely ecstatic as you grant me that sweet release. So I don't know if Mindy meant to do this, but let's look at this. So the first poem here, the external poem, they're both about nasal spray. Okay, I didn't know if you meant to do that or not. Because yes, like when you read it like this, you're like, "Oh my god, is this about like some sweet release, some thing?" But they're both about nasal spray. So, okay, so you answered my question there. Okay, but that's the whole idea. Like you take something and you could take anything. You could take fucking nasal spray and turn it into like the most erotic poem in the fucking world, dude. Do you guys see how you could do this with your words? It's fun. And you could do this about anything. Anything. So, with that said, and since we're on Mindy here, Mindy, I'm going to read the rework, okay? Because this is such an important, huge thing. So, do you guys remember? You can take fucking nasal spray and make it about fucking nasal spray. Okay, so check this out. So, if you remember, Mindy wrote a poem called The Library Office Center, where she was talking about a scanner. And the first poem she wrote talked about fantasizing about what she was going to do to this scanner. The second time she wrote it, she wrote about actually doing something, but then letting us know that it was a fantasy. So this is the third work of this here. You just won't work. I've tried so many times. I know I've had enough. The anger is building, but I will not be thwarted by a scanner. I try one more time. The image is upside down. You smile at me like you know you have won. Oh, hell no. I rip your cord from the wall, pick you up, walk 3 steps, and throw you out the window. The glass shatters. You make a satisfying crunch as you hit the ground, 3 stories below, surrounded by tiny pieces of broken glass. I give a triumphant smile that turns to panic as I see security officers with their batons out and ready. I run down the hallway, straight to the stairs. No time to wait for the elevator on this trip. I race down 3 flights, security hot on my trail, quickly out the front door. Fresh air gives me hope of escape. I give you 2 big middle fingers as I pass you on the ground. Some may think this is stupid, but I think it's worth it to see that smug smile wiped clean. Now, this right here, okay? This is so fucking huge. In this poem, like, Mindy completely gave over. She completely opened up. And even though there are fictional elements in this, obviously, she lived vicariously through her poem. That is so crucial to just fucking being healthy in your fucking head when you are writing poetry. She went from being docile. She went from being resigned to the fact that this scanner is going to fuck her. She went all these things. And then at the end was like, motherfucking scanner, I'm going to fuck you. And that's it. So eat shit. I win. Fuck you. And Mindy won. This whole arc of Mindy's deal with the scanner, this is like a total fucking hero's journey. She won. She did it. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? She took something, went a little further, and then went as far as you could go. She broke the fucking law. She broke the law of poetry, and she broke the law of vandalism. Okay? Like, motherfuckers are coming after her now, and she doesn't give a fuck. That's what I'm talking about. These 3 poems, okay, in this order like this, is the exact idea. It is a metaphor of what I'm hoping to share with you guys, what I'm hoping you will take from this. Let's see. Love it. Awesome. I love it. I love those poems about the scanner. Hannah says, LOL, relatable. That scanner is about to die a death. Good job, Mindy. Fuck that scanner. Dude, next time Mindy goes to that fucking library, dude, she's going to fucking side-eye that fucking scanner, and that scanner's going to quake. It's going to go, oh, shit. What the fuck was that? Oh, whew. Oh, jeez. So that's awesome. So, Mindy, again, I know I totally gave you mad props in the email, but again, very, very fucking good job, and keep that up. Now, I want to read a little bit of a longer one here that Garrett sent in. And Garrett was talking about how he's always wanted to write about this, but he didn't know how to do it until we were talking about cadence and how we speak, which again is something we're going to talk a little bit more about in a minute. So here we go. I remember the first day I had ever truly walked outside at 6 years old. Of course, I'd walked outside before in all the days and years prior, but this time I escaped through the window of the room in the back of the bar I lived in. No, I wasn't in poverty. It wasn't the room where the liquor was made in one of those beer silos. Let me actually make this bigger. I'm having a hard time reading this. Oh, there we go. Holy crap. Font size. I wasn't a scavenger scrounging for food and drink. My mother and I lived on site, but I was grounded forever, a foreigner in a country whose language I couldn't speak. I crouched and crept through the window, my slender 6-year-old body fitting snug, and I was invited to the hillside of the mountain. Snow covering the entire ground. If I fell through the snow and I fell through the ground, I might have been cast away to some other place, stepping through the clouds at my feet, the whole world shifting upside down on me. I'm in the bliss of Switzerland. I was already there, in a reality where I do understand German, where I'm not alone in my brown wooden bedroom, desk in place of bed and TV, isolated and slouched away from the world, away from the bar, an impromptu adventure. A mile away, I climb into a gondola lift. Me, an invisible 6 year old, naively afraid of no one, God peering through the tinted glass of this square box, the wise, observant elder I need. Outside, the sky is bright blue, with white clouds covering certain portions, and some strangers with me in the gondola comment and ask where my parents are. I told them I ran away, lonely, and without any direction, ready to reach the top of the mountain and roll carelessly down the slope. And I sense they'll be down there below, ready to have me back to the bar and ask why I left, ask me why I ran away, ask me why I'm so strange, though not in these exact words. I have no skis to fly, just the brunt of my legs and snow boots to walk and trip over. For a momentary lifetime, the clouds at my feet had flipped upside down, and I alone and lonely. Still trash day, guys. Felt the comfort of walking for the first time, just myself and the gracious God at my side. So, a lot of you have an enormous talent to tell a story. We are all storytellers by, if you like, go back to primordial man, like we tell stories. That's what we do, that's what we've always done. This is a wonderful example of storytelling in just a few lines, getting just because this is long for a poem, but we're only at 60 lines. Okay, 60 lines isn't really that long at all, and there's spaces. We have stanzas and shit here, dude. So like, to tell an entire story in such a small amount of words and be able to have emotion and isolation and wonder and all of these things, it's very amazing. And I strongly urge everyone to try to do this. Try to take um, an event, a big life moment in your life, and try to write it as crisp and clear and simply as you can. And the more you do this, and this is why a lot of people, especially in novel writing, do a lot of pre writing. They will write, like, I don't know, like 500 words or 1,000 words of what their book's going to be. And this book that they've managed to tell in 500 words is actually going to be like a 70,000 word piece. But they do this and then they add to it and then they add to it and then they find little places to add to it more. Like if Garrett wanted to go like whole hog on this and turn this into like some big like Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe thing, like each one of these stanzas, you can totally build a chapter or two off of. Like the first, okay, so we're 6 years old. We're talking about the bar he lived in. Why is he at the bar? Like, who are the people around him at the bar? Why does he feel like he needs to go outside? And then we go to the next bit. Um, that's where they were living. And then he's in a country whose language he couldn't speak. So that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other chapter. That's a whole big fucking thing. So every time you do something like this, look at it as, and you'll notice too, like when you hit enter, when you hit return and you're writing, and then you're at the end of the stanza and you're like, bam. And then you're at like a new idea. Each one of those ideas could be its whole thing. Garrett could write 100-line poem probably off of each stanza he has here. And I wish I could show you the thing, but I didn't set anything up like this. So you're going to have to just take my word for it. Um, it is an extremely noisy day here in Los Angeles. So, Garrett, good job, man. I love it. Very, very good. And honestly, guys, are you fucking with me now? Another trash truck going the opposite way. Helicopter, ghetto bird, trash truck, trash truck. Okay, so anyway. Oh, now it's nice and quiet. So hopefully I haven't been butchering your guys' poems this week. That's important. I don't want to do that. Okay, guys. So here we go. We are now moving in to the final day of punching you in the genitals. Okay? Stretch, get ready, have yourself a drink. Because now we're going to talk about voice. Okay? Voice. Now, voice is huge because for a lot of people, it's this thing that no one could quite put their finger on. Like, how do you find your voice? What is your voice? How does one use their voice? It's like this weird ethereal thing in circles of poetry, and I don't fucking get it. I'm going to fucking tell you guys something right now that will blow your fucking minds, and you'll be going, damn, you're saying fucking a lot. And I'm like, I am. And this is why. Because your voice is your voice. Okay. Your voice is you. Your voice is unique because you are unique. Your voice is your fucking voice. So some of you might be going, oh, that's kind of vague and abstract, or not so much. I don't understand. Tell me more. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. How do you talk? Think of how you talk. Think of the words you use when you speak. Think of the inflections you use when you speak. Okay? That's you. That is who the fuck you are. Now, I'm going to give you an example here. There was this woman. This woman is a poet. She lives in the deep south in like Louisiana. She is an African American woman. She is older. Okay. And when she is speaking about her poetry and you hear the words that come out of her mouth, you know when she's speaking that she is an older African American woman in the South, in Louisiana. You know this because of the words she uses, the cadence of her speech, how she talks, how she expresses herself. Okay. And she was talking about her takes on poetry. And she was saying all this stuff. And she's like, I'm going to read you some of my poems now. And I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be amazing. I was getting all excited. She starts reading and she's like, thy something da 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 but and she starts going into this fucking old English fucking Shakespeare shit, and her voice completely changed as she was reading her poetry out loud. She completely missed the fucking point. She is a unique individual. And I know a lot of people, and I've had other classes too where people said this, that they kind of stayed away from poetry because they were brought up in households that had like different nationalities in it. And so a lot of the English that was spoken was broken English. And so this one example I'm using here is that she was afraid to like ever write like it, whether it's poetry or short stories or anything like that, because she was always afraid that she would fall in to broken English and stuff like that because that's how she was raised. And my thought on this was, but that's who you are. That's your voice. Like, own that and make it you. Like, you have something that most people don't have. So lean into it. That's your thing. Do it. Okay. I talk a certain way and I use my hands a lot. And there's another trash truck. The craziest thing is none of these trucks are stopping to pick up trash. They're just driving up and down my street. Okay. So anyway, so how you talk is key to who you are. So use that. And if you're like, well, I really wish, like, if you're reading your poetry that you write and you look at it and you're like, this is a good poem, but I don't use any of these words when I talk. Chances are when people read that, they're going to feel the phoniness of it. So if you are worried about the words that you're using in your poetry, then just expand your vocabulary. You can do that anytime you want. And we will notice as we age, as we get older, there are words that we don't say anymore. For instance, when I was a young lad, everything was fucking fresh, yo. And I said fresh all the fucking time. Oh, dude, that's fresh. That is fresh as shit. Okay. And do you guys remember when everything was crunk? Like, do you guys remember that happening? So, like, we use words for periods of time and then we don't use them anymore. But when we are using those words and those words are a big part of our life, that is tight. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, now I'm getting fucking stupid. So let's move to the next thing. So the next thing about your voice is how you feel. Okay. And I was really curious how when yesterday I was like, write like you're talking to a potential lover or a new lover or a lover you have or something like that. Because it's interesting to see how easy that is for some people. Some people it's very hard to do, and some people it's the easiest thing in the fucking world. So what I'm getting at with this is if you don't understand certain feelings, don't write those feelings. So let's say if you have never been in love, legitimately, you don't think you've ever been in love, don't fucking write about love. If you've had those feelings, then write about those things. But if you never had, don't do it. If you've never, ever in your life felt complete and utter desperation, don't write about that. Now, this is with poetry, but this is also with fiction. Don't write shit you don't know about. It always comes off looking bad, looking like just trite. Okay. When you read your poetry, so now we're getting into how we read. Like that woman I was talking about, she turned on this voice and started reading her poetry in this weird fucking, what the fuck is that? Be real with your audience. And I know some people are like, no, there's an art form in reading poetry. Well, I've been to slam poetry jams and I've seen people do their poetry readings and stuff like that. And I've seen people read in all different ways. And a lot of the people, and this might just be like a taste thing, but when people are trying to bare their soul in a completely fake and phony fucking voice with weird fucking like like, and their cadence is all weird and they're fucking yelling words that don't need to be yelled, and then they're just like normal, the whole fucking thing comes off as complete phony fucking bullshit. And the thing that is so weird is that a lot of poets really lean into this way of giving readings, and it never comes off good to me. But it's weird because there are rooms full of people who think that's the way you're supposed to do that. So when they go up, they imitate that and they do that, and then people clap for them because they think that's what it's supposed to be. And it's just like, honestly, like, poets in general, like modern poets, are, and even educated poets, they are seriously just like a room full of chimps. And like, someone sees one chimp do something And they're like, oh, that's what we have to do now. Okay, let's all go stick our finger in the light socket because that's what that guy did. It's the most bizarre thing. If you ever get to go to like a big poetry reading, go and just go in the back and just watch what the fuck is happening. And it will fucking blow your mind. And the only reason why people do things the way they do it is because they've seen other people do it and they're imitating the thing that the people are doing. And what I'm really hoping you guys do is be fucking real with the words that you're fucking sharing. That's it. So the next bit of this is how you live. If you are poor, do not write about being rich because you will not be able to understand it properly. Just like if you are rich and you have never fallen on hard times and you've never had a fucking toothache and you've never had anything, you can't write about the downtrodden because you've never experienced it and you have no fucking clue as to how that can go. You can write those words down, but when people read those, especially if people have been through the thing that you're writing about, they're going to see through you. People are so much smarter than we give them credit for. And a lot of you, especially if you read sci-fi or fantasy, and this is like weird levels of shit right here because you're like, oh, well, it's not like any of us go hang out with hobbits ever. But like you can see imitators when you read stuff, when you're reading fantasy, and you can see imitators when you're reading sci-fi. You will see elements that are the same. You will see pseudoscience that is the same and not done as well. Okay. And when you look at that and you're reading that, you're like, ooh, that's no. But when it's real life shit and it is so obvious that things are a certain way and this person has never ever felt anything like the characters he's writing or the poetry that he's writing, you know right off the bat, and it's fucking cringy as shit. So the next bit is write what you know, write where you grew up, write what jobs you've had, what relationships you've had. And yes, if you need to fictionalize them to protect the innocent and stuff like that, do that. But all of these things together, the way you talk, the way you feel, how you read, how you live, the things you know already, all of these things encompass what your voice is. Okay, you can't be you without all of these shared experiences together. And lastly, after write what you know is write what you have. So just like the how you live, um, don't write about driving a Porsche if you drive a Dodge or you take the bus everywhere. You could write about how amazing it would be to drive in that Porsche. You could write about how exhilarating that must feel. But don't write about something you have no idea about and try to come off as an authority on the subject. It's very, very it's lackluster, and I think some of you will know what I'm getting at with that. So, as far as voice goes, does anybody have any questions? Because we're going to get into blood. This is actually going a little longer, so hopefully, you guys will be able to stay like another 30 minutes. Try to get through this because this is kind of like um, my mission statement for all of this stuff here. And this is blood. Okay. Now, when I talk about writing in your blood, I'm talking about writing real shit. Okay. Writing the real stuff that's going on with you. Your writing, okay, should fucking cut people. Your words should be like fucking razor blades. And if people are like running their finger along the words, when they pull their finger up, blood should be fucking dripping off their finger. Okay. This is kind of the mindset that I'm wanting you guys to have here. Your words should be your blood. Okay. Um, you should be able to see your blood in your work. You should be able to feel your pain. You should be able to like feel your successes, your fucking victories. If people, okay, if you can't feel what you're trying to convey in your work, your reader will not be able to feel that either. So there's a difference between writing something to write it and writing something with your fucking blood and writing it to where those words aren't just words. Those words are alive and they have feeling, they have emotion. And when people go across those words, they feel it, they know it. It's a weird like metaphysical thing that I can't really put my finger on, but there are things that people have written that you could tell they wrote because they were writing. And then other things people wrote that you could tell they wrote because they needed to, because it needed to come out. It's like a fucking zit. Okay, it's a big fucking whitehead fucking zit, and you fucking pop that thing and it fucking explodes. That's graphic. That's disgusting. I apologize. But that's kind of what it should feel like. It should fucking have that pop, you know? Um, the thing about this, too, that you will see if you go through history is that when a poet can bleed when they write, okay, there are always imitators of that poet. And this goes for writing, too. When you see that a writer can just fucking bleed on the pages, within the next few years after that initial person's work got published, there will be a ton of work that looks exactly like it. And why is that? It's not because they liked the lines, it's not because they liked the words used. It's because they want to get that emotion that they felt when they read those words. It's almost like if you want to use like magic, like in a fantasy world here. There are tomes in these like books and films and stuff where the words are just words. But then there's times when you see the book open and someone starts reading the words and the words start glowing. The words start having properties, they start having power. Okay. And that's kind of the same thing when you write with your fucking blood. You know what I'm saying? So, one thing that I need you guys to do, just like little promises to yourself, keep everything you write. Do not delete shit. Do not crumple up paper and throw it away. Do not do any of this. You need to keep all of these things because each time you write, each time you start something and then you don't like it, all of those things are little bursts of ideas, little bursts of thoughts, little bursts of blood that can be something else. And all of these things, this will be what your idea folder is. This will be what your slush pile is. These are all important things to you. They're little remnants of your soul. And be kind to your soul. Don't fucking throw your soul out in the trash. Don't throw pieces of you into the fucking trash can. Okay. That's one of the things that drives me fucking crazy. A friend of mine used to do this all the time. He threw stuff away all the time. And I went over to his house and I'm like, you got to fucking stop doing this. You keep writing like half of a novel and then you throw it away, you fucking lunatic. You're like, you can't do this anymore. I'm going to start taking all your work at the end of the day so you can't fucking throw it away. And he fucking looked me straight in the eye, ripped out a page out of his notebook and shoved it in his mouth and chewed it up and swallowed it. Motherfucker. And you know what he's doing now? Nothing. He is doing absolutely nothing. So, what do you think about that? Yeah, I'm looking at you, Bunny and Hannah. Don't do that. Thomas says, is researching something a good thing? Of course, researching something's a good thing, especially if you're working on longer pieces that you need to research. Like, obviously, the more you know about something, the better. So, just don't ever go into something without any fucking knowledge of it, because it's obvious when you do that. And again, I talked to you guys about Ginsburg doing first word, best word, first thought, best thought. There's a lot behind that. And I would be curious to see over the next few weeks how you guys are writing, and taking that into consideration and seeing how you feel about that afterwards. So hopefully those of you who are taking the class can do that, and we'll talk about that. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with a poem I wrote a while back. It kind of encapsulates all of this. It's called Write. Write what you know, write where you live, write what you see, write what you hear, write what you touch, write what you smell, write what you feel, write what you taste, write who you fuck, write who you love, write how you talk, write in your voice, write in your breath, write in your blood, write you and only you. You are the conduit, you are the lightning rod. No one can see what you see through your eyes unless you show them. No one can hear what you hear unless you tell them. And no one can feel what you feel unless you touch them. So, that is the thing. And I think, first off, I just want to thank all of you who have been coming to this every day, because as much as it's like I'm fucking telling you guys how to do this and how to do that and everything, I honestly learn so much from you guys when you guys send stuff in. And this happened in the 2 classes before this one too. I'm constantly learning things from you guys. And I think that's a very important thing, the whole iron sharpens iron thing. Like, we need each other to build each other up, to learn off of each other, and have these moments where things grow and get bigger. So we are going to do some giveaways here in a second. So don't run off yet. So I'm going to give away a pack of chapbooks of mine. I'm going to give away a copy of, not this one, but the new one, the red one, volume 2, that isn't here yet. And I'm also going to be sending out the hard copy of this, type hard, to all of the people who have been sharing your poetry with me. And that's just kind of like a thank you to you guys. So we'll be doing that in a minute. So Bunny says, let's stop together. Sounds like a plan. About the, yeah, that's good. And then Nate says, thank you for doing this for us, and thank you for everyone for being so encouraging. I'd never shared anything before, but definitely want to continue going forward, for real. And real quick, with the course and how it's going to go. So right now, I know Nate, Hannah, Bunny, Thomas, Mindy, and are those the people signed up right now? Well, basically, what we're going to be doing, this is going to be kind of like an ongoing thing. And there are tons of little classes like this that we're going to do that are going to be video based, like little modules, let's say, talking about all sorts of things, from creativity to writing to editing to publishing to all of this stuff. Another thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over making zines. We're going to go over broadsides. We're going to go over chapbooks. We're going to go over ebooks and even paperback books. And I'm going to help you guys make these things for yourselves and put them out in the world. And again, this is if you want to. If you're not big on publishing and you don't want to publish your stuff, I don't know why, because it's kind of like your job as a writer to let people read the stuff you write. But so hopefully you guys will want to be doing that. And I'm going to walk through and go over all this with you guys and help you out and do the stuff. And again, everyone, in case you missed this in the beginning, I really do want to put a book out of all the stuff that came in from just this week, because it's been a magical fucking time, and I'm really digging it. And I think how you guys have expressed yourselves is fucking moving. So I think that would just be awesome to share that with people. Let's see. Thomas says, this has been my very first time sharing things. Thank you, Matt and all. Well, thank you, Thomas. And Hannah says, you're both so welcome, everyone in Matt's community, including Matt. Thanks for the little love there. It's so inspiring and so encouraging. I'm glad to have been here with all of you. No, seriously, like, you guys have been fucking amazing. And I'm honestly so fucking excited on where the class is going to go. And another thing too, a lot of the things we're going to be going over every week, since there's so much stuff I have to go over with you guys, your guys' input on what's happening and what questions you have are really going to mold how each week goes. So I'm really looking forward to it being like this living, breathing thing that has all these like moving parts and shit. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you are interested in taking the full course here, if you hit the join button and join the Anarchy crew, that's it. And you also get other videos, and there'll be other live streams and stuff like that in there as well. And it's just supporting the channel too. So if that's anything you guys want to do, I would love to have you and be greatly appreciated with that. Does anybody have any actual questions about how the course is going to go, or what to do now, or anything like that? Because I am going to give you one more little bit of homework here that is going to make you either love me or hate me. Preferably love me, or just like me a little bit. Will we be doing live readings? Yes, because dead readings are weird. No, I'm just kidding. It's so funny that you say that, Bunny. It is so funny that you say that. And you would think, this being Bunny's third go round on this, that Bunny would know better. So let me go ahead and give you what your homework assignment's going to be, since Bunny is running her mouth. Okay, because this is going to be fun. Bunny doesn't. Once work starts up again in the middle of August, the times that will totally work, because it's going to be completely on your schedule, Mindy. So Mindy asks, once work starts up again in the middle of August, the times I could be live will be limited. Will the class still work? Yeah, because it's completely work at your own pace. You will have the videos there to watch when you want to watch them, and do the work when you want to do it. And then I don't know the frequency exactly of how often the group lives will be, but I'm still kind of working that out. But it'll be at least once a month, if not way more than that. But depending on everyone's schedule and what we can do, That's how we will do those. But there will be content for you every week and sending that stuff in whenever you want. So if you don't check a video for 3 weeks and then come back, there'll be videos for you to watch and things to do. And again, you just go back and forth with me, and that's all good. So the thing I want you guys to do, take the poems that you have done in this class, okay? And I want you to get your phone out or sit at your computer and record yourself reading these poems. I want you to focus on your breathing, focus on your cadence, focus on your inflections, focus on how you're reading. And a lot of times too, just with editing, when you read things out loud, your brain hits certain things, because when you're reading things just looking at it and reading it, if there's a word missing, your brain, because it knows it's reading something, will put words in there to make things move smoother. That's why when I'm reading your guys' stuff and I'm like, oh, I put a "the" in there and I didn't mean to do that. Your brain just does that when it feels like words are missing. And a lot of times, if you're just reading it without reading it out loud, you don't notice those things. So when you read your poetry out loud, you're going to start going, oh shit, this, oh God. And you'll start finding things that you need to fix, or things you left out, or things you need to add. But more importantly than that, I need you guys to be comfortable with your voice. And not just the voice you have out loud, but the voice that you write with, the voice in your blood kind of thing, how long are your lines going to be? When do you hit the next line? All of these things. And it's really important to do that. And if you guys would like to send those to me after you do it, I would love to have it and hear it and talk to you about it and give you any kind of critiques that you would like to have. But I think it's really, really crucial to do those things. It's a good exercise. It's good practice, and it really, really helps with editing as well. But I need you guys to get used to your voice and find it and know it and embrace it. Any other questions we got? Cause baby, it ain't over till it's over. Also, for those of you who are still here, if you do not want to be put in that book that I was talking about, send me an email and let me know. I'm going to be hitting you guys up all the time, or not all the time, but I'll be hitting you guys up after this and finding out if that's okay to include your stuff in that. And you could just let me know. Okay, well, it sounds like we're kind of settled here. So, just so you know, the first class thing for the main course will be available, I believe, Monday. I think it's going to be Mondays and Wednesdays is when the videos are going to go up for this. So, yeah, I think that's how we're going to do this. And how I'm really feeling like it's going to be is one is going to be more of a writing prompt, and then another one will be kind of more lecture talking about it kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll try it out. And if there's certain things you guys would like to see more of or less of, you let me know as we go, and that'll be that. Okay, guys, this has been so much fun with you guys, and I feel like I don't want to leave. I don't want to end this. Oh, we got to do some giveaways here. Okay. God damn it. I'm like the worst giveaway guy in the world. Okay. So, the question I have for you is, let's see. How many chapbooks did I hold up and say I'm going to give away? If you know, type the number in the chat, and the first person to get the correct number will get them. Oh, Tim, you nailed it. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You did it, Tim. Tim gets the chapbooks. So good job. And then finally, the last question. Tim, you can't answer. You already won one. What volume is the Poetic Anarchy book that you guys are going to receive if you get this giveaway question correct? That was the stupidest way to ask that question. First person to hit it in the fucking chat gets it. Thomas! Oh. 2. Kitties. Bunny, you did that wrong. Okay, so Thomas, you're getting the Poetic Anarchy Volume 2 book. Tim, you're getting the chapbook bundle. And everyone else is getting the Type Hard book. So I'll be hitting you guys up for your addresses and all that. Guys, this has been so much fun. I can't wait for the main course. You guys are all fucking awesome. And I'm excited. So I will be posting some videos this weekend, but love you all, and I'll see you Monday. So take care, everybody.